First of all, very good to be back to the Open Source AI Summit. Very excited to be here. So today I want to do a bit different. Aside of all the amazing tech talk, I want to take a machine evolutionist viewpoint to trace the recent 3 to 4 years about the AI emergence, and especially with the recent, I would say 8-month insurgency, what we call crypto agent, or what I call DGent. Okay, so quick background about us. Edge's Research Institute we founded over 2 years ago. Our main research focus has been along edge intelligence, a hybrid between what we call a singularity research across human AI tool sets, and also what we call a digital being, how you create an autonomous being entirely digital online. And we operate one of the largest open source campus in San Francisco. So if you're in town, give us a ping. Love to host you there. We work with the Linux Foundation, Mozilla, and has been really on the cutting edge frontier for a lot of open source research here. Over the last 1 year, we host over 50 different song hackathons across different domains. So if you're interested in any sub-guild, talk to us. And today, I think I want to give a bit talk, let's trace back, walk back history a bit, the evolution of the decentralized AI space. So if you retrospectively look at our journey, we actually have gone through 4 different phases. Phase 1 was actually the early emergence of an incentivized network. Back in 2021, 2022 was the first emergence of BitTensor and Morpheus, who are creating a network space almost for builders to contribute to different workflow. And phase 2 was the first emergence of modular stack. So a lot of amazing team has been come together, for example, Hyperbolic, OpenRouter, Sahara, Jensen, News Research, and Prime Intellect. They almost take a modular approach to look into different stacks and specialize in the different layer. And phase 3, we almost start to transition from protocol to application, which is the tail end of last year, follow up the meme coin wave. We start to see the first social agent, crypto agents start to emerge. And fast forward now, what we call is the DGent emergence. It's almost different breed of the crypto agents start to emerge with enriched personality, advanced tool sets, and also a provable sovereignty here. Funny enough, so last year I made the 6th prediction, at the same time this year, about what's going to happen in crypto. The first was emergence of intelligence assets. A lot of the initial model offering has already happened. We have a sentient team has been doing Adobe. There's a lot of team has been looking into data sets, digitization as well. Then you have a user-centric AI, which is kind of more the near team has been working on, fully user-owned SOAR model. Can you develop on that part? New monetization of open source AI, we have been seeing a lot more shared collective intelligence products start to emerge. And interesting, I think the last 3 was just well covered in our different phase transition. Until the last one, the agentic economy ascendancy. We first start to see the iteration of the individual, large agents start to emerge. Recall last year, for example, the first millionaire crypto agent happened, which is the GOAT, Truth Terminal, right? So there's roughly about 2 categories of agents in our arena. The number one, what we call social agents. They're an AI personality on Twitter account and engage with a lot of crypto community. They either publish a meme picture or launch a meme coin, kind of the first social interactive agents. And second, we start to see the early emergence of utility agent. For example, XBT, who are actually providing useful trading signal has been actually providing some utility for the agents. But that's just the early stage. Now the question is, we see a lot more basically utility agents have emerged, whether it being a DAO management or trading, different crypto workflow automations to happen. That's where the next stage should be. Yeah, so this is the truth terminal for the social study. But now I think we're almost entered the new stage of what we call the DGent space. And how we define DGents. So number one, a lot of the new wave of agents, they're not just social agents, they're incumbent autonomy with a lot of execution environment to prove their sovereignty. The second part, they have a distinct personality. They're almost a new class called model behaviors start to emerge. They're really interacting, doing a lot of prompt engineering, deep work to prompt a flavor personality. For example, Satan, kind of devil humorous personality. And the third part is crypto integration. Coinbase this year, they just launched their CTP, and a lot of different toolkit from for example, Crossmate or Nevermind start to enrich all of the tool sets library for agents as well. So this comes with almost a 360-degree of like full capability of agent with distinctive personality is how we call this like, almost like degen space. Yeah, so this is just some of the case study. For example, like Deal with the Devil. The Satan agent is a collaboration between Flashbot and News Research. Was the first with a distinct flavor of devil, and have the early kind of interaction. We call it Deal with the Devil, basically to lock in a deal. It demonstrates a very practical use case for this kind of a great integration between crypto integrations and also incompetent autonomy. And I guess the question now will be what's the next stage for degen, right? I did prediction last year. I want to do some prediction this year as well, right? So stage one, I think the preliminary stage is very apparent. There will be a lot more tool and utility. I know Ethereum Foundation has been working with a lot of deep funding prediction agents. A lot of different DeFi protocol has been working on a lot of DeFi sites. So that's pretty interesting. The second part, I think, with a lot of enriched personality. For example, Eliza or Virtual, they have been going hard to have enriched personality for their agent framework as well. The third part is, can we see the new virtual influencers start to emerge? Right? Some of the degen, they actually have gained over multi-million followers. All their interaction has been traced and monitored. In the early days, we talk about virtual influencer, kind of K-pop stuff. But actually, we start to witness the real emergence of a virtual influencer among us, or among our creation by us as well. They might have oversized social influence over time as well. And that will create a new attention economy, basically. So another interesting study is actually potentially even see the emergence of mini society, right? Freeza is a great example. In addition to a social agent, it almost creates a kingdom of a Freeza agent. Across city, you have your Freeza as your digital twin, and maybe they can create their neon city as well. So that's kind of the next cycle. Maybe the future of degens is autonomous society. You first formulate your digital cabal together, as one type of Freeza type one class. Then you have community orchestration, whether you do some community governance rewards. Then as a DAO almost or cabal yourself, you have a fully autonomous governance function as well. Maybe the next network state 2.0 are not just human network state. Maybe it's the degen network state as well. So that's kind of what we see the next stage will potentially become. And to wrap up this one, we actually just started to do a 1-month spring experiment. We call it Degen Arena. Basically, it's a 5-week, almost a spring hackathon incubator program to cultivate this new degen space. And so if you are interested to join us, follow us or join our hacker campus, 2 blocks away from here. But if you're working in something interesting, spicy degen idea, I'd love to talk to you. Yeah, cool, awesome. Thank you, everyone. Any question?
Thank you. So you talked about the integration of crypto for these AI agents. And I was wondering, is this specific to crypto, or if these functions can also be achieved by using more traditional, bank accounts, etc.?
Yeah, for sure. I think the response to that one will be, agent is a large category, right? Basically, I would say across the traditional agent and also the crypto agent space, they're one part of it's just subsets. But most important part is crypto as an arena, it has almost a virtual economy by itself, right? A lot of the on-chain transactions, they're fully digital. Sometimes they don't even bank as well. So that's almost a different workflow to go after. Whether the two arena will converge in the end, 100%. We already start to see a lot of teams start to doing this kind of experiment. When we're using cryptocurrency to pay some real life use case, 100%. So I think it's almost a 2 parallel track, but in the end, it will converge together, which what we call potential, we'll see singularity here. Yes, sir.
I'm very interested by this, and I'm curious if you feel that this D agent space is going to be entertainment, utility, or both?
Yeah, I think our season it should be both. I think social agents and utility agents are both native subsets of the degen space. Like even look at crypto, right? You have DeFi as a cycle, NFT as a cycle, social as a cycle. It's part of use case you created for this like virtual economy. So from our perspective, like it's not like one way is good or like bad. It's more like I think they're like parallel coexistent, basically.
And so with utility, what would be an example of utility at this point?
For sure. So like for example, I think Vitalik gave a great example. Like a lot of the like open source contribution for the crypto protocol, they're like whether you're retroactive funding, how do you attribute different like contributor, right? And is there any like maybe like an agent to help evaluate the contribution? How do you like predict and allocate their funding as well? That's super helpful. And a lot of DAO management, like raise your hand, like if you have been like active DAO day-to-day management, right? Frankly, I mean multiple DAO, but frankly, how many times I really vote, it's more like representative. So if a DAO can gather my sentiment to vote as well, like super helpful. So even some of the small tasks in our native like crypto economy space, I think there's a lot of arena to be like automated, become like utility agents. Yeah.